This tutorial will show you how to select an order type for a service replacement part. The tutorial will also describe the basic requirements you need to perform this process, and the expected outcome of the process. Areas that are covered. 1. Order types and process overview. 2. Deciding what type of order to place. As you help internal and external customers identify parts and check their availability, you will eventually need to order service parts from another plant to fulfill these requests, and then sell the part to the customer. In SAP, there is a company structure that matches the different DOITS locations and business segments. This structure is what you will operate in while you are ordering and requesting parts through SAP. There are two types of orders you will be placing to get service parts requested from another plant. The first is called a stock transport order, and is used as an internal purchase order in between two plants. The second is a sales order. It is used to request parts from a plant that are being sold directly to an external customer. Knowing the basic process for both documents, and the scenario in which you should use them is required to effectively get parts to your coworkers and customers. If you are transferring parts inside one plant, but in between two storage locations, you will need to use what is called a goods movement. This is mainly used when transferring parts from the service parts storage location to a service truck storage location, so a repair can be completed. We will include this topic in the decision-making document in this video, but we will not describe it in depth since it is covered in the logistics portion of the DOITS tutorials. The first type of order you need to understand is a stock transport order. This order is an internal order that is meant to be used between plants in SAP, and requires the use of an inbound and outbound delivery. This order is typically created by a receiving plant that needs an item shipped to them from a supplying plant, before it is sold to the customer. After the stock transport order is created, an outbound delivery is created so the supplying plant knows that they are supposed to pick and ship the part. The supplying plant then creates a transfer order, and prints a pick ticket from that transfer order. The part is then picked, and delivered to be packed. Once it is packed, the transfer order is confirmed, which removes the item from the warehouse and ties it to the outbound delivery, and it is set for pickup. After a carrier is determined, and the item is picked up by the carrier, the supplying plant will confirm their outbound delivery. This will automatically create an inbound delivery in the receiving plant. Once the part arrives at its destination, it will be received against the inbound delivery. Remember that after a stock transport order is used, a sales order will still need to be created to actually sell the part to the customer. The stock transport order is only meant to get the part from another location to your location. The second type of order we will review is a sales order. This is the order that should be used to sell components and services to an outside customer. Sales orders use outbound deliveries, but do not use inbound deliveries since they will be going to a customer, and not received by another DOITS plant. Typically, after a stock transport order has been created to move parts from one plant to another, the parts are sold directly to a customer, or used on a repair. Both of these scenarios will use a sales order. A sales order can also be used to drop ship parts directly from a DOITS plant other than your location to a customer. Once a sales order is created, an outbound delivery is either automatically created, or manually created depending on the sales order type. After the outbound delivery is created, the respective plant is responsible for creating a transfer order, and printing out the pick ticket. The part is then picked, and delivered to be packed. Once it is packed, the transfer order is confirmed, and it is set for pickup. After the item is picked up by the carrier, the outbound delivery from the supplying plant is confirmed. These confirmed deliveries are very important because they are a signal to the accounting department that goods have exchanged hands, and an invoice needs to be created. Remember that sales orders can be used to drop ship parts from a plant to an outside customer, but a stock transport order should be used to drop ship parts from one DOITS location to another DOITS location, including service trucks. There are also different types of sales orders available to use in SAP. These sales orders have different purposes and subsequent functions. The decision-making process will guide you to the correct sales order type depending on your scenario, but we will briefly describe the different types here. Order type CUS is a regular daily order that will ship out by the next day from Norcross, or is used for service repair orders. This order type does not have any automatic creation of deliveries or invoices. Order type CTBS is a breakdown, or emergency order that functions the same as a CUS order, but is picked and shipped the same day with the customer using Deutsche Freight. These are priority orders, and should only be used for expedited situations. Order type CTVS is an order type for walk-in customers which order parts from a DPC location. It will auto-create a delivery in TO, with confirmation, and auto-invoice the customer. This is done to quickly satisfy a customer that is waiting at the counter, but should only be used for these walk-in scenarios. Finally, order type CTSS is an order type for customers who call on or email for a delivery from your location. It will auto-create an outbound delivery, and a batch process will auto-create a TO, but it will not confirm them or create any invoices. This should be used for most orders that are not walk-in customers, but require an item to be picked and packed with an outbound shipment from your DPC location. Now that you have a basic understanding of what stock transport orders and sales orders are, we will describe the decision-making process you need to use to decide which order type is correct for the scenario or situation you're in. When you are deciding either what order type to use, or if you should use a goods movement, you will need to follow this decision-making matrix to make the correct choice. You will be asked from multiple parties to order parts into your location, or drop ship parts to another location, and you will be required to know what type of orders to place so the requesting party can correctly receive and use the parts they need. The decision of what type of order to place is really based on 4 different criteria. 1. Is this an internal or external customer? 2. What type of internal or external customer are they? 3. What is the delivery method for the desired part? 4. Is the part number currently in stock? The first question that will need to be answered is whether the requester is an internal customer or not. This is because all internal requests need to be fulfilled with some type of transfer, before they can be sold using a sales order. For example, if a service technician is requesting a part be dropshipped from another Deutsche plant to a customer location, so it can be used on a service job, that part must be transferred using a stock transport order or goods movement before it can be sold on a sales order. There are scenarios where an external customer requesting a part would require a transfer before it is put on a sales order, but all internal requests will use this 2-step process. The second question that needs to be answered is what type of customer are they? This is a basic group for internal customers, but is typically how the customer contacted you for external customers. Third, you will need to know the delivery method the customer is requesting for the part. This is very important because expedited sales orders need to use a different sales order type in SAP, and also because walk-in customer will use an order type that automates some functions, and expedites the order creation process. Finally, you will need to determine if this is a component that is in stock at the location supplying that part or not. This is needed so the supplying plant knows how to handle the order, and to make sure that the correct sequence of orders are entered in SAP. Once you have gone through these decision-making steps, you will be guided to use a stock transport order, goods movement, or sales order. If you are going to use a sales order, you will also be guided to the correct sales order type to use, depending on the scenario. As mentioned before, if you will be using a stock transport order to request parts from a supplying plant, you or someone at your location will eventually need to create a sales order to sell the part to an external customer, and relieve your inventory. The process for creating stock transport orders, goods movements, and sales orders are covered in other tutorials. You are now ready to view one of those tutorials, and place your order.